Sometimes you give a child a task to do and they only do it part way. They don't complete the task. They're so interested in their own agenda. Maybe it's to get back to the video game or to go out and play with their friends that when you give them a task, they don't complete it thoroughly. But that is going to require some training. And I want to give you some ideas of how you can do some training with your child to increase their thoroughness quality inside of them. Thoroughness is the character quality that you're trying to implement here, because you want children to be able to think more completely about the task instead of just doing the minimum to get by. Very important for children to learn. I'm going to share with you two ideas. The first one has to do with accountability. When you give a task, you want to say to the child before they leave you, when you're done, report back to me. When you're done, report back to me. And you might even say the job isn't done until you report back. Let's say you have a 14-year-old and you go into the kitchen, you say, son, your job is to clean the kitchen. Let me know when you're done. You come back a little bit later and the child's watching TV and you go, wait a minute, I told you to clean the kitchen. And he says, I did it. And your response is the job isn't done until you report back. Let's go in the kitchen and let's look. Okay, you did a good job in here, but there's still that gunk in the sink you need to clean out and shut the cabinets, and then you're done. This reporting back, this accountability starts to train children to be able, they have this uncomfortable feeling their work's going to be checked, and so they have to report back. So higher accountability will teach children how to do jobs more thoroughly. The second thing, though, is to teach children that part of their job is to do more than what's expected. A very important part of customer service, a very important part of a child's ability to learn honor. That's what honor is, in part, is to do more than what's expected. It's not just treating you in a valuable way as a parent, but it's knowing how to do a task and look for an additional thing to do. So when you clean the bathroom, like I asked you to, then you need to look for an additional thing to do in the bathroom. That's your job. And so when we increase this expectation, now children are doing more. You might start it with an instruction. Your job is to set the table like you normally do. But when you're done, think of an extra thing you can do. I don't know what to do, they say. So you might say, well, I'll give you some ideas, but I want you to think of it. It'll be your idea. You can put name cards out, placemats, create an art project to put in the center of the table. You can put ice in the glasses, do something that you are adding to the mealtime, because that's what honor does. Honor adds to the situation. Now we're teaching children that they have an obligation, not just to do the minimum to get by, but we're teaching them that they need to report back and they also need to do more than what's expected. So this process takes training, and we're going to work with children over and over again to build into them this sense of obligation. And when they do, they're developing thoroughness. Now, thoroughness, a person who's thorough thinks and acts differently than the person who's not thorough. See, the person who's thorough takes a second look before they're done. In fact, you might even say to a child, okay, I'm going to come in and check your work in a moment. Why don't you go check it first and see if there's anything that needs to be fixed or changed before I come in and check the work. By doing this, you're increasing this child's inner sense of obligation. This I need to pay attention to details. I need to make sure I've done the job completely. This thoroughness is such a valuable quality because it shows that you care. And so we're teaching children something very important that they'll use for the rest of their lives. This isn't just about the task. Many children think that when they're given a task, it's only about getting the task done in any way they want. It's more than just the task. This is about doing something that's going to contribute to life. This is about having a reputation of someone who cares. And so thoroughness is very important, and developing that is very important in a person's life. I think that's why the Bible says in 1 Corinthians 10:31, whatever you eat or drink, whatever you do it all for the glory of God. You're thinking about something bigger than just yourself. It's not just about the task. In this case, it's about the glory of God. But many times we're teaching children that you're doing more than what's expected, because that's godly, but it's also being mature and responsible. It's the first steps toward customer service. We're going to learn it now right here in our home.